Back Nation, welcome back for part 2 here of our interview here with Coach Amanda Roediger here, the head NC State dance team coach. And if you haven't checked out part 1 yet, make sure to go and do that first and foremost, as you kind of learn a little bit about the recruiting / tryout process, and then a little bit in terms of how Coach Roediger ended up at NC State. A very interesting route here for sure. And a route that a lot of previous NC State greats have kind of taken as well, just saying. With that being said, kind of jumping into it now, one of the biggest, I think, questions, in terms of understanding what it takes to be a part of the NC State dance team. We learned a lot of what it takes, when interviewing Coach Harold Trammell on the cheerleading team before, and it was a big wake-up call, and I'm sure about to get the same thing again. So kind of talk to me in terms of, would you say that football, like between football season and basketball season, is there one season that kind of is more pressure or higher level than the other, or is it full blast the whole way through?
It's full blast all the way through. I will tell you, the month of November is the most dreaded month of all months of the season, but it's the toughest one to get through, but
because football and basketball are going on at the same time.
Football and basketball overlap. Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yeah. But no, we start first week of August and we don't stop until April.
Wow, that's amazing.
There we go.
So kind of give it to me in terms of a typical week. Obviously there's a balance of classes, again, student athlete for sure. So kind of like, what's the typical practice schedule, and then how do you kind of work your practice schedule around the schedule for that week, whether basketball or football is going on?
So, a typical practice schedule for us is it's a 4-day a week. So in the fall, we do 6 a.m.s Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we're in band class on Wednesdays and Fridays. So that's built into their schedule. So that's a 3:45 to 5:30 class on Wednesdays and Fridays, and then on Wednesdays they have their workouts after band. So they get 4 a week in, and then in the spring we do 1 morning a week and then 3 evenings, which are like that 6 to 8:30 block, and their workouts are kind of built in around that. So workouts, conditioning, that kind of stuff is usually built in around their or class schedules, and that's done by their workout captains. And then practice is practice, so they build their schedules around practice. They know what it is the year before coming in, and it really doesn't vary a whole lot. You come to us, you're dancing in the morning. So that's just one of those things that's been kind of built in. And then, scheduling wise, obviously, well, for the most part, football is on Saturdays. Now we do have a Friday game this year, and we've had some Thursday games. We've pretty much mastered all the time slots too, but generally they know they're there 4 hours before, and then you cover the game and then you're done. So it's a full day regardless of kind of what time slot. And again, when they overlap, they just overlap, and practices kind of fall in. If we have those open time slots that we're normally in, they fall in there, but we always know we're going to get those 6 a.m.s in because nobody else has those slots, and no game is going to be at that time.
No kidding. Well, and kind of tell me too, on a more fun side, do you have a late policy or a late rule? Like if you show up late, then you have to do this, or like?
Yeah, like late doesn't happen for me. That's one of my big things. It's always been tardiness. Being on time has always been a very, very, very big emphasis in my program. And so it does not happen a lot. But yes, there is. You don't after 3, you don't dance.
Okay.
So that hasn't happened. Nobody's gotten to 3.
Yeah.
Not anytime recently, I don't think. They do have to make a timed mile in order to dance on the football field. So before every game, they have to run to get on the field. Okay. So that's kind of their incentive to get on the football field. So they run not like that day; they run the week before.
Yeah.
So their miles are kind of there, and what pushes them to get on the field.
Yeah.
For football, but once basketball comes, it's a bunch of moving pieces. So
yeah. Well, and the reason why too I asked that is, I was a football equipment manager while I was at State, and
okay.
Terry Calloway Country, the head equipment manager, he he definitely has gotten a lot tougher about being late over the years. While I was at state, it was more that if you were late, that you had to stay over, usually like an hour, and
Oh yeah,
help
make up
out the
your
staff
time. Yeah, no,
and things like that. But,
we start and end on time. I don't like to waste people's time either.
well,
So.
and more meaning that they keep whoever's late for an hour to basically just make up a time.
Gotcha.
But now, like, if you're late one time, the next game you have to stay up in the equipment room. You can't go down to the field. And then like the
Wow.
second or third time, you're out. I'm like, dang, country, dude, you've gotten.
That's so funny. He fishes with my next door neighbor.
Oh, no way. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, he and his son are over a lot. They go fishing with him a lot.
Oh,
So that's very cool.
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's been there a long time as well.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So yeah. So well, again, I mean, definitely sounds like a crazy schedule for so far. Now, the one thing which I do got to ask, kind of more of a fun side now. There's a lot of different. So what's the word? It's uniforms, I guess.
Uniforms.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And so who gets to choose? Like is it kind of a designated depending on what the basketball or football team is wearing, that you're matching like red on red?
Yeah, I mean, I
white?
think so. Yeah, that it kind of depends. So, like, they'll tell us. We sit on like football ops meetings and that kind of stuff, and we get a lot of information. So, if we know that it's going to be a blackout game, or if it's going to be a a whiteout, whatever it is, we will, try to match the uniform to that. But it's also, weather based. Sometimes it's just, it's based on, kind of what type of dance we're doing at the timeout break. So yeah, I think we don't try and overthink it at all. We have a lot to choose from, and we're grateful for that. So I think, if the girls are more comfortable in one thing over another, for me, it's not, we want you to, feel the best you can feel. So if you want to wear this, you and the team wants to wear this, they wear this. So I don't put a huge emphasis on that, but yes, we do try and, make sure that we're coordinating with what the themes are for.
Okay. So you typically just have like one red, one white, and one black throughout the season, or do you kind of have
we
a couple?
More than that. We have like a long sleeve red, and then like a pack top that's red, and then we have a white long and a white short. So yeah, I mean we have different ones, but yes.
Okay, got it.
They generally know, yeah.
Cool. And does the dance team involve at all in terms of away games at all?
So we will travel to not for basketball, but we will travel to usually one away game. The band does one full band away game, and then Carolina State is always a back and forth. So anytime we go to Carolina, we go there, and it's usually the same with Wake every other year. So this year he will be taking full band to Virginia Tech. So we'll be going to Virginia Tech this year, which is great. It's a super fun environment. I'm really excited for the kids to have that trip.
Yes.
As a full team. And then he'll also be traveling a group to Wake, which we'll probably send a smaller group to, just depending. So yeah, they get that. We've done Notre Dame, and nice. West Virginia. We've been able to see some fun places and fun stadiums. So that has been awesome. And then bowl games, obviously, just depending. When we went to San Diego, I was only able to take my captains, and then last year we were in Charlotte and we did a Jacksonville Bowl where we were able to take everyone. So that depends, but we are really fortunate to be afforded those travel opportunities.
I'm sure the dance members that you didn't choose for San Diego were kind of relieved, at the end of the day.
I know. We had so much fun though. It was a shocker. I mean, we had done the parade, like we were eating lunch, we were all like back in the rooms getting ready, and then we get those calls, and it's like, no way. I mean, people were lined up at our hotel connected to Petco, and people were just lined up waiting to get in, and I was like, it was so sad. But they did let us in on the field, so that we could see the field and like kind of just take it all in and take pictures. They let the band out there, so that was really nice. And then we got a bunch of free gear because they had a bunch of gear to give away. So,
oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I know. I still to this day feel for the fans that flew out there.
It was
for
wild. It was wild. We had a great time though.
Yeah. No, it would have been such a great time if it didn't have been like that. But so now jumping into more of the fun side. So first thing which stood out to me when it comes to looking at the dance team achievements is back in 2021. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but basically NC State won the first ever ACC championship for dance. Is that correct?
It is correct. It was a COVID year, and that was, it was something that the or I guess it was the year after, but it was something that the conference really wanted to do. And all, all of the coaches kind of came together throughout the year and put this competition on, and it was great. It ended up being really successful. And we entered in the game day division and ended up winning. And it was a testament to what those kids put in that year, because it was a very it was a year that was void of pretty much everything. There was no football for them, there was no basketball for them. I mean, this is really what they had to work for. And it was hard trying to sell the experience without being able to give an experience. And so I was really proud of that group for putting in work for something that was unknown and so far ahead of them, and kind of working toward the year after that. And this kind of gave them some life. And and I think winning it was just really like, oh wow.
Yeah. So by the way you're explaining it, so is that a one-time thing, or is that an ongoing
No,
thing?
they had they were able to put it together for the next couple of years. Decided not to, I guess, do it this year. I'm actually really sure why, but we really enjoyed it. Like, just having the conference come together as a whole, because we don't all compete the same circuit. So there are some people in our conference that compete the UDA circuit in Orlando in the winter, and then there's the rest of us that compete the NDA circuit in Daytona in April. So we don't get to compete against each other, and so it's kind of cool to see where you stand against other people, or
So
just in general.
So would it be easier to list the schools in the ACC that do have dance teams, or the schools that do not have dance teams? Okay, is there only?
I think it would be easier to list the ones that do. I mean, most everybody has one.
Okay.
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that does not have one. They're not all competitive, and they're not all run the same.
Okay.
But I'm trying to. I can't think of anybody that doesn't have one. Possibly Notre Dame. I think they do now.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, everybody has one.
Okay. But in terms of competing for the ACC championship, does everybody also compete in the ACC championship?
I think most everybody did that year. Definitely the first year. I think there were a handful that maybe didn't. Okay. But yeah, most everybody did that year.
Cool. All right, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's again, it's something which, a lot of state fans don't get a lot of, eyes to, so but again, we need to change that. I need to get more involved in that. And especially, and coach, I'm just throwing it out there, but one thing which definitely I think got a kind of a storm there on social media is when Coach Harold Trammell did his jumping leg kick, which I
was so touchy. Yeah, I remember that. We were down there for that.
Which I found out after was basically like an agreement that if you win a national championship, then Coach Trammell will do that. So I mean, for you, I mean, do you have any kind of?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I would have to figure something out. I would lose my mind if that. So that would be enough for them. I'm usually pretty composed, so they see me out of my bubble, and they see me in all of my emotions and at nationals. So it kind of takes them all back anyway. So,
before we continue, I want to take a quick second to tell you about our sponsor, Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, that has your whole world covered, with agents in 5 offices throughout Eastern North Carolina to help you decide how much coverage you need, offering policies for home and auto, recreational vehicles, commercial, crop, health, life, and employee benefits. They are able to combine options to find a comprehensive solution that works for you. Flatlands Jessup protects the things you love so you can spend less time worrying and more time enjoying them. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Flatlands Jessup. You can also visit their webpage at www.flatlandsjessup.com. So please make sure to go and check them out.
Well, I kind of asked like a fun, quick question. So one thing is which I love when we went and saw the dress rehearsal for nationals back in April was watching all the cheer coaches like lose their minds or routines. Like, yeah, let's go. So how is it? So how are you? Like, are y'all usually kind of pretty locked in, or are you guys like, yeah, too?
No, we're typically the same way. Okay, I mean, cheer coaches are known for being kind of obviously excited and jumpy, but yeah, I mean, we're pretty crazy when we get down at nationals.
I don't know. I've seen a couple of shows during the summer of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, coaches. They're pretty rock hard and stone faced and and that kind of kind of is a great segue to the next topic, which I still remember, and I've always thought about it, about how the Dallas Cowboys recognized the NC State dance team back in 2015,
That
if
was
I'm not
fun.
mistaken, correct?
It was a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in kind of reading on it, it almost seemed like basically it was a fluke. And for those, for those that, are listening that are not sure what I'm talking about, I'll kind of give you an opportunity to fill in the gaps. But it sounded like basically it was almost like that, like one of the seniors sent a clip as a tryout, and then that got the Dallas Cowboys coaches' eyes on the NC State dance team, and then they just all of a sudden ended up winning. Like kind of fill in the gaps.
Well, no, I mean, it was more of a process than that.
Okay.
I think they had within the show, when they're in their DCC show, they had I guess a competition for this WOW award.
Okay.
And one of my seniors at the time was a huge fan, was totally into it. And so one summer she was like, would if I edit a couple of videos, and this was like kind of, like putting videos together wasn't like as easy as it is now, or like it wasn't,
Sure.
Right, 2015, yeah. Like, so she's like, can I edit a couple of videos together? And I was like, sure, if you know how to do that, that'd be whatever, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so she did, and she sent it in, and then she said, oh, like we made the next round, like, can we, so I'm gonna tape some more things and send some more things in, and we're like, sure. And like, it kept kind of progressing, and yeah, and then it was very quick. It was like, well, this is, what's gonna happen. We're gonna choose you, and we're, we didn't know that we were going to win. Like that was but we knew that we were like going to be possibly on the show for some reason. So they told us to like tune in, but we figured that's probably what it was for. But it was very exciting, and it was wonderful. The school was super supportive, sent us down there. We had an amazing time. That was a memory that was, definitely created by the girls, which I love. Mm-hmm. That they took the initiative, or she took the initiative to create that opportunity, and we all got to experience it, and it was a blast.
Oh, that's awesome. And so basically, like how did you find out? Like, is there like a letter that comes in the mail, or is it like?
Yeah, they emailed us, and we're just
cool.
like, check your, this is going to be on this time, and you'll find out whether or not you've won. I mean, we knew we were like a semi-finalist or something, and then if you win, we'll give you more information. And so we just kind of waited for that. And when we went down, we participated in their Christmas show, and then got to spend the rest of the weekend in Dallas. It was beautiful.
And also too, because you also got to participate in a halftime show of the Cowboys game. Am I correct? Or
yeah, we did. It was their Christmas show. Their like
Christmas
festive,
show. Gotcha.
Or festival, yeah, Christmas show that they do every year. And so we had learned the choreography beforehand, and went in and said it with them the night before, and had a long practice that night, and then did the game the next day, had free reign, free access to pretty much everywhere in the stadium, and it was amazing. And everybody was, really, really nice. But then we had another couple of days there to kind of spend around the holiday. It was right around Christmas. So it was really pretty in Dallas, and it was fun.
Did you guys happen to check out Dallas Cowboy Cheers locker room even too, or?
Yep, we did. We got to go. We got a tour of all that, and
that's so
sick. Yeah. The whole nine.
That's so sick. I love that. That's really cool. I love that. Yeah. Well, and again, it's cool to hear again, you just, getting some recognition from, one of the, biggest names, at least in the dance world for sure. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, pretty big for sure. So kind of talk to me, you've been at State for 15 years now, and it was funny. I can't remember. I was reading an interview or an article. I can't remember what it was, but I remember you were asked a question, like, what's your favorite moment, of the year, or during your time in State. Somehow the question was phrased like that, but your answer was like the first football game of the year, and seeing like the reactions of, the freshmen, or like the new dance, team members. And so kind of talk to me about that,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The question is, what's your favorite memory? Well, I've been here so long. I have so many wonderful memories that's like, I would never really be able to pick one, but that is one of my favorite things each year, is the first football game for the rookies. Just like, cause I still get, chills at the first game every year, just because I'm a huge sports fan. So that's part of like understanding this when they come in. We teach them about how all of the different avenues, they can take in dance, and this being kind of the athletic based one. And, we say, if you're not, you can love to dance, but if you don't love sports, if you don't love athletics, if you don't love the idea of what sports and athletics bring to the university that you're representing, you're going to have a really tough time, because you can't be genuine in that excitement. You can't be genuine in that entertainment if you don't understand what's going on, or you're not, where I'm not saying every kid that we get has to be an expert in the game, but we do want them to understand what they're watching and what they're supporting and why it's so impactful.
Absolutely.
And it's why it's a different audience than an audience that you may perform on a stage for. So it's a whole different type of dancing.
Yeah, no kidding. Well,
entertaining.
Well, and especially this year, first game of the year being, against Notre Dame, and new scoreboard, new sound system. It's
noon, 12:30. It's probably 100 degrees. So yeah, we're ready. We're prepping them.
Yeah. Good. Love to hear that. And kind of talk to me in terms of like, what would you say your goals are for the next step in the NC State dance team, timeline?
That's interesting because I've actually talked to people a lot about that lately, because I'm in this like phase where I'm like, okay, there are a lot of teams around us, a lot of huge schools around us, like I told you earlier, that have the opportunity to kind of recruit, offer, do things that on the outside look amazing and probably are. You want to win titles and do all of that stuff. I think that is a wonderful avenue. But within what we do, what's our identity? What do we want to kind of stay consistent in and make sure that we're that when people talk about NC State dance team, they're like, oh, I know. Usually it's very clean. We're a very clean team, known to be that game day oriented, all of those things. But character over talent has been a big push for me the past 5 or 6 years. And I think that has really refreshed the way that I coach and the way that I interact with my dancers. And to see that you can have great people that are combined with just massive amounts of talent is just so humbling to me on a daily basis. And, everything is not always sunshine and roses. We understand that, but it's the support, it's learning how to be part of a team. It's the commitment to each other, whether or not you're best friends outside of the practice walls or inside, you have a mutual respect for each other. So, the next step for us in defining our identity is, that not only do we have a boatload of talent, but it comes with good backing and good intentions and good people. And I think that's kind of how you sustain, because ultimately nobody's going pro in dance, right? Like, even if you go pro, you still have another job because you can't go pro in dance, right? Yeah. So we're teaching these women and men, if I could get some, how to kind of, navigate lives, navigate relationships with each other, with authority figures, and how they proceed kind of into the next step. I think we're still struggling with a lack of diversity. We're really struggling with a lack of diversity, and that's something that's been very challenging for me over the years. Earlier teams, we really didn't have that issue, and so that's been kind of an internal struggle, and something that I'm trying to have reached out within to see kind of maybe what I can do there.
Sure.
But yeah, I think that for me, as getting older as a person, it's not so much about April, right? Like we love nationals. I love doing well and being successful. And that's the expectation. The expectation is never going to be that we are not successful. It's just, that's not in us as competitors, but it has to be done the right way.
Amen.
And it has to be done with the right people. So for us, I think these past several years, we've really been able to cultivate a family-like environment. And we ask kids, like, when they come, like, why are you here other than at school? A lot of it is academic based. So yes, engineering, that I want to be this, or I've been a state fan since I was little, and we love that. And that's, but I'm always very interested to know, why are you here? What did we sell to you that somebody else didn't, just because I'm interested. And that seems to be kind of the factor that has come back, is the comfort level that they felt at our clinics, the kind of non-judgmental environment, but also the seeing of the expectation is still going to remain high. So I'm proud of that. I am proud of that.
I love it. Well, I think that's the perfect little clip there to end up in this interview with for sure. Well, first of all, Coach, thank you so much again for your time. Cannot thank
course.
enough for
Thank
all of
you.
your time and dedication to this team, and has definitely not gone unnoticed. And I think that
Well, I appreciate
the
it.
biggest hope for me out of this is that more and more fans again just learn to appreciate again the people that definitely don't get as much credit as they do, and definitely you and these girls and the this team definitely deserves way more respect and attention they do get.
Thank you.
So, so once again, in terms of supporting them for sure. Again, Coach, is the tag usually at NC State Dance Team on Twitter,
Yeah.
Instagram, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
at NC State Dance Team on Instagram. We link it to the Facebook. Like I said, I do know some of our older alumni are on Facebook, and we really have been working with that. So yes, but that and our website's getting redone too, so we'll have a little bit more information there. But at NC State Dance Team is best place to find all them.
And one maybe kind of just like just kind of ended all side question, for those, maybe you do have, children who are interested, maybe, girl high schoolers that are in dance, things like that. What is the biggest tip that you would give them in terms of if they do have an interest in, joining the NC State Dance Team? I know you kind of talked about like the clinics, things like that, but is there a certain tip that you would kind of say for them to focus on in order to,
I mean, we tell all prospective dancers to do your research, right? All dance teams are not the same.
Mm-hmm.
We cater to different, not just different fan bases, but we cater to different styles.
Okay.
And we run the programs differently. So if you're really interested in dancing in college, do your research. But I think the biggest tip for all of us at this point is just get as much work in as possible, go to as many prep clinics as you can, and really kind of find your place.
That's great. I love it. Thank you so much. All right. With that being said, Wolfpack Nation, once again, make sure to support this team for sure. As again, this dance team does amazing work that is easily seen during any NC State football game, men's basketball game, women's basketball game, you name it. So make sure to go and support them, and make sure to follow them for sure. As again, it definitely goes a long way. And then for us, if you don't mind, again, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. If you enjoyed this conversation, if you love NC State dance, then hit that like button and give us a follow. Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter, Instagram. Thank you all so much for joining us. We'll see y'all soon, and go Pack, y'all.